A long time ago, on a beautiful island, where palm trees swayed and tropical breezes and mango trees were heavy with fruits, a young man named Victor and his wife, Juana, decided to set out and seek their fortune. "We can climb aboard a big ship and sail across the great ocean to a magical place where the streets are paved with gold," said Juana excitedly. The promise of a better life was made to all who made the journey. "I shall miss my island home," said Victor. "How shall I remember the dances we danced in the town square? How shall we remember the songs that we sang during our town fiestas? How shall I remember the music we played during our parties? And how shall I remember the stories everyone told around the dinner table?" "Well," said Juana, and she looked at their belongings and spied the large wooden fork and spoon which used to hang on the wall in their dining room. "Let's bring our fork and spoon with us. Whenever we get lonely for our dances, our songs, and our stories, we can look at them and remember." "You are a wise woman," said Victor, and soon Victor, Juana, and their little daughter Luya set out across the great ocean for the magical place where the streets were paved with gold. Once they arrived, they found that others from their island had made the journey too. Victor and his little family found out that Manong Felix and Manong Josefina lived in the same new country where the streets were paved with gold. "Stay with us until you find a house of your own," said Manong Felix. "Thank you very much," said Victor, "but I can't do that. You are treating us like we're your family," said Victor. "Well," said Felix, "in a way, you are the only family we have in this new land, and we want to help." Victor and Juana didn't wear out their welcome, and in a short time they found a place of their own to call their family. Meanwhile, Manang Josefina and Juana, being good friends back on the beautiful island, didn't feel so lonely, especially when the men were away sailing on their great ships. While they were having their merienda one afternoon, they discovered that each brought their large wooden forks and spoons from their homes on the beautiful island. "Why did you bring these?" asked Juana. "I brought them because it will remind me where I came from, and that some day when we are old and rich, we will return to our beautiful island and be the envy of all our friends," said Josefina. Juana said, "We brought our forks and spoons so that whenever we look at them, we will remember our dances that we danced in the town square, the songs we sang at our parties, and the stories we told at the dinner table. The fork and spoon helps us remember." "It's like a little magic, isn't it?" said Josefina. "Yes, my friend, but it is a magic that we create ourselves," said Juana. And the two friends laughed as they ate another suman roll and drank cocoa made from milk, bitter chocolate, and sugar. As time passed and the families became familiar with the new magical land they had called home, more families from their beautiful island came to the new magical place also. There was Nita and Uwe, Ilo and Robert, Mauro and Feli, Buring and Miling, and Jerry and Rosie. Luya married Raphael, and soon there were many children in this new land that didn't remember the beautiful island because there was nothing to forget. One day the women decided that they would form a club so that no one that came from the beautiful island would feel lonely. And they wanted their children to learn the magic of the wooden fork and spoon. "Bring your forks and spoons so you can remember with us," cried Josefina, and to this day their Filipino Women's Club is still inviting others to share the adventure and to come and remember with their forks and spoons. All the families that had the wooden forks and spoons in their home knew the power of the magic and how they could remember, and soon the wooden fork and spoon began to cast its spell on the children of Felix, Josefina, Victor, and Juana. Felix and Josefina's children started a dance club and a club for older children to share in the magic of the fork and spoon. Feli and Mauro's children started a music club where they took the instruments from the beautiful island and taught the younger children to play them. Puring and Miling's children started a drawing and painting club where students drew pictures of the places their parents and grandparents talked about. Eventually, these pictures went up on a wall where all the believers in the Fork and Spoon could come and see and remember. And of course, all the families knew how to throw parties and make the table of food so big and so grand that there was plenty to eat. Bob and Elo were especially good at telling stories about what life was like on the beautiful island, and Rosie and Jerry made sure that the children knew the story of the Aswang and the little people that lived in the rice fields. As more time passed, those people who brought the original Fork and Spoon to the magical land where the streets were paved with gold soon grew old and gray and tired. Some remembered to return to the beautiful island, and there they made grand homes from the gold that was on the streets in the magical new land. And as things happen in these stories, some have gone on to a better place to claim the promise that was given to them even before the magic of the Fork and Spoon. But the magic of the Fork and Spoon continues to conjure images and bewitch the minds in this new land. Many of the children now have children, and those children now have children of their own, and they all know the dances, they all know the music, and they all know the stories because of Felix, Josefina, Victor, and Juana, and many, many more names that are held in our hearts and minds forever. These people would be proud to know that those original forks and spoons still live today, and that their children and their children's children will remember forever.